Hi, Reggie back speaking about healing America's narratives, the feminine, the masculine, and our collective national shadow. Last two episodes, we were speaking about ignorance, one of those 9 elements of shadow. Again, they're ignorance, arrogance, bigotry, fear, violence, greed, excess, untrustworthiness, and bullying. That's the list that I've comprised and found evidence for. I'm not saying those are the only elements in American shadow, but those are definitely there. And today we want to move from ignorance, again, which is the place where we're best able to learn. When we don't know something, that's a great place to learn from, into arrogance. Because often what happens when we're ignorant and we find ourselves in a situation where we realize we don't know something, we don't know enough about something, rather than saying, I don't know, can you help me understand this? Or go and find some more information. Many times in a moment of self-defense or even self-preservation, we push back against others who might know more than we do or who understand things differently than we do, and we get arrogant. And that's a fear response. I'm afraid of being seen as ignorant, so I become arrogant. Right? And I further ground myself in my ignorance, and I take a stand based on my ignorance. And in doing that, I'm arrogant. Historically, if you think about it, the European explorers turned colonizers, when they met the Africans on the continent of Africa, different cultures, and both cultures were ignorant of the others. And then taking the Europeans again to the Americas, what are now known as North, South, and Central America, when they met the indigenous peoples there, they were ignorant of them, as the indigenous people were of the Europeans. But the Europeans had more powerful technologies and felt they were superior to what they didn't know about. Again, the cultures of the African peoples and the indigenous peoples of America. And so they took an arrogant stand where they had to convert them, or I'm getting ahead of myself, where they enslaved the Africans and they tried to convert and trick and steal land from the Native Americans, what we now call the Native Americans. So it was that move from ignorance, wow, we don't know what these people are like, rather than getting to know them. And in fairness, in fact, the missionaries had to get to know the Native Americans in order to be in conversation with them and learn their language. But then the goal was still to say Christianity is superior to whatever these people have. So we're going to convert them, kidnap their children, put them in schools, take their land, and do all those other Christian things. I'm being a little bit sarcastic there. So the move from ignorance to arrogance is a pretty easy move to make. Enough for now. We'll come back and probably speak a little bit more about arrogance, and then we'll move into the relationship between arrogance, ignorance, and fear. Okay, so thank you for tuning in. As always, I appreciate your camaraderie here.